Hey guys, I want to just pipe in on my opinions about the case of Kyle Rittenhouse. I am so thankful that the jurors got it right and found him not guilty of all charges against him. That poor kid, for Pete's sake, what kind of society do we live in when a kid who is so obviously under attack and in danger not only was not protected, but then was attacked again by our legal system, arresting him, charging him with murder? Are you kidding me? Going through a trial like that? Oh my goodness. I'm so thankful that the jurors did not allow the angry mob outside the courthouse to influence their deliberations. I'm so thankful that the defense team worked their butts off and stood firm for Kyle Rittenhouse to be properly defended in court. And you know what else? I'm thankful that the judge let the case run its course, because there were about 3 times during the trial where I thought, why is this judge allowing this trial to continue? Come on, judge, directed verdict. Come on, judge, it's obvious the state doesn't have anything to go on. And you know, when the prosecutor pulled that stunt about Kyle not speaking, exercising his Fifth Amendment right, I was like, come on, judge, what more do you need to see before you put a stop to that circus? But I think he did the right thing by letting the case run its course. I think he did the right thing by letting the jurors deliberate, right? Had he stopped the trial, then Kyle may have had to go through another trial in the future. Now, by letting the case run its course, he doesn't have to worry about that, which is a good thing, of course. And I just have to mention, when I saw the prosecutor handling the firearm in such a reckless manner, pointing the firearm right at the jurors, placing his finger right on the trigger, well, I lost a little respect for our system. Why didn't the judge put a stop to that in the few seconds, I guess, actually, that it was happening? Why didn't the jurors object? I would have objected. I would have said, hey, buddy, don't point a gun at me. I would have. I would have expected the defense lawyers to jump to their feet and say, Your Honor, please instruct the prosecutor to not point the gun at the jurors. I would have expected whatever armed officers were in the courtroom, surely there must have been at least 1 or 2, to have immediately grabbed the firearm, since it sure seemed obvious by the way the prosecutor was treating it that he didn't know what he was doing. Just my opinion. So that's what I think about the Rittenhouse trial. I feel sad for Kyle Rittenhouse that he ever had to go through any of what he had to go through. But I feel very happy that, like I said, the jurors got it right. Now let's talk about the case of Christopher Watts. First of all, the drama that's going on. I won't spend too much time talking about that, but I just want to touch on it. Have you noticed all the fundraisers? Sounds like everybody's suing everybody, right? Sounds like there's a lot of money being collected for, their legal defense funds and stuff like that. Do you really think if somebody is suing somebody that they're going to make a bunch of videos about it? Well, in my opinion, it's all a bunch of fluff. In my opinion, it's just another way to grab some easy cash. And I think it's disgusting. But of course, everything about the case of Christopher Watts that we've been watching over the last 3 years since poor little Bella and Cece were murdered in what should have been the safety of their own home has been pretty disgusting. Now, about the case itself, this is what I think. I think it was moving day. I do not believe that Christopher Watts' wife was supposed to be there. I don't. I think she was supposed to be staying elsewhere. But I do believe that there were other people staying in the house. And I do believe that the people who were staying in the house are part of what, in my opinion, appears to be a huge cover-up. Just my opinion. Everybody have a great day. Hey guys, so we kind of got started in a different way this time. I thought that would make sense so that people could gather around while that video played. I just uploaded that to Patreon, so I thought, well, I'll go ahead and start off the live chat like that. I'll go back to the beginning of the comments here. Yes, New Orleans. I can't talk today. Yes, New Orleans lady. I'll just call you New. The case needed to play out, the case of Kyle Rittenhouse. Like I posted in the comment thread, I think otherwise the prosecutor would have just had another chance at convicting him. And yes, any lawyer, I'm talking about now the way all the drama channels are claiming they're suing each other, any lawyer would tell them not to be discussing it on social media. So what's that about? Is that like their end game? Is that what all the crap over the last 3 years has been about? Is this like their finale? Look at the money they're collecting, right? Is that what this has been about from the start? They're big time fundraisers, trying to convince people that they're actually in need of tens of thousands of dollars. For what exactly? To pretend like they're fighting for everybody's freedom of speech? I can't think of any one of them who is claiming that they're preparing for whatever. I can't think of any one of them who has clean hands to move forward with any complaint. I'm sorry, but you cannot be a scumbag attacker and run around suing other people because you don't like what they say. Ray points out that people are actually reading scripts on camera. Yeah, remember that when we first started talking about how they were reading scripts and how they were all like, oh, Miss Mensa thinks we're reading scripts. Ha, ha, ha. Now you can see it. Clear as day. They think that they're good actors and actresses. They're not. At all. If they're a guy, they're wearing a baseball cap. It's easier to not be so obvious if you have the baseball cap kind of down over your eyes a little bit. And some of them are women wearing baseball caps. And some of the women wear these glasses that aren't really glasses, but they have pretty wide frames. Same thing. Makes it easier for them when they're reading their scripts. Even if you couldn't tell by watching, you can tell by listening. They use words that they don't know how to pronounce. People don't use words that they don't know how to pronounce, because if they don't know how to pronounce the word, they probably have no clue what the word means. It's all appearing more and more and more like it's all just nothing but one big scam. They pounced on this case when it hit the headlines. They targeted people who they thought would be easy peasy to use their names. And they were off to the races, pretending that this one was saying bad things and that one was saying bad things and this one was fighting with that one. Pretending never cared about the case itself. When it's pretty obvious to me what they care about is trying to add a few pennies to their disability checks. You know, they want to use their free phones issued by the government to make a few bucks. I think that those free phones should have limited data. I really do. I think they should have, I think they had 25 minutes when they were first issued. That's all they need. Those phones were never intended to provide a person the ability to hang out on social media all day long, harassing and attacking innocent people. Just my opinion. I think that if the government were to restrict the number of minutes right back down to 25 minutes instead of the unlimited data plans, I think a lot of the crap that we see on social media would stop. I don't think anybody has any constitutional right to be able to hop on social media and attack good people. I also think that the people who are using their freebie phones to abuse others online probably have friends and family members who don't mind at all that they're hanging online all day. Probably kind of keeps them out of their way. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about moving day. That's my opinion. I think it was moving day, and I don't think that Christopher Watt's wife was supposed to be there. I think there were other people staying in the basement. I think Christopher Watt's wife was supposed to be staying somewhere else. I think whoever was supposed to be supervising her did not supervise her very well. I think she was a lot sicker than what we've surmised up to this point. I think when she was at the house, that room on the main floor was where they kept her. I think when she made videos, that was during her manic phase. But I think for the most part, she hung out on her own, online. My hunch is with a government issued phone with unlimited data. Ray says, it's so stupid now, I'm not even enjoying banana. I don't believe any of it. I don't want to make it appear or act as if I'm trying to give anyone any legal advice. But the way I hear both Banana and also the traumatic one, the way I hear them talking, I just think to myself, you got to be kidding me, really? I thought it was interesting. The traumatic one claims that she was married to a lawyer. We've heard that claim a lot, haven't we? I wonder if she was a retired nurse, too. Lisa's asking all about where the channel is that had all the good videos, and people are being very kind in the comment threads, having a discussion. Lisa says, yes, that's the one. I completely forgot the name, so thank you. How did they take it down, yet struggling to take the others like AD down? I don't think that what you see with the whole AD show is quite what's going on, Lisa. In my opinion, they're all part of the same package. There was one video that the traumatic one who now claims she was married to a lawyer, that she did explaining defamation to one of the other channels, I think to Banana. Well, she got it wrong. And that's one thing I'm noticing with these channels. I remember with the two up in Canada who want you to buy them a wedding, I noticed the mister was just so off base when it came to talking about any kind of appeal or 35C or whatever. And then they were both so wrong to be allowing the bullshit about adult survivors of childhood sexual abuse. Yet they both act like they know what they're talking about. Well, I see this over and over again with the other channels. They give this advice, they know what they're saying, right? They say it as if, well, look at Banana. She buys a few binders and she's all of a sudden the expert. Are you kidding me? Lawyers don't use binders anymore. Yet for some reason, both she and KK both tried their damnedest, it seems, to present themselves as if they were some sort of lawyer wannabe. Honey, I've been through law school. I have my Juris Doctor. I highly doubt either one of them could make it past the first term. Sorry, I know that sounds kind of, I don't know what it sounds like. I don't even care. But it takes a hell of a lot more than a few binders to be a lawyer. Well, the defamation queen there explaining to Banana all about defamation. This is what she said. Let me see if I can find it. Oops. Hold on. She said, and I quote, as soon as I find it, I'll quote it. She said, and I quote, in order for me to actually defame you legally, what I said needed to be false. So you have to prove that what I said was not only false, but that I knew it was false and that I said that thing to damage your reputation. And you also have to prove that before I said those things, your reputation was in one state, and that because of what I did, your reputation is now in a completely different state. That isn't true. It isn't true at all. It seems to me, seriously, like whoever it is who they're working for whatever conglomerate they're latched onto, it seems to me that they're trying to feed misinformation to the masses. Because if they have somebody like that traumatic trip, the one who now claims she was married to a lawyer, if they have her rattling off that spiel, how many people are going to hear that and believe it? That's not how it is at all. But there they are, reading their scripts from the looks of things. How dangerous is that when you think about it? How dangerous is that to have, I guess, different teams, different packs of people actively hanging out on social media, feeding the masses misinformation? I'll pick apart what she said here. In fact, what I would say is let's go ahead and just look at a simple Google search, okay? The question in the Google search, what is required to win a defamation lawsuit in the United States? Now, keep in mind that the traumatic trip is claiming that the banana has to prove that before she said those things, that the banana's reputation was in one state, and that because of what she did, that the reputation is now in a completely different state. That isn't true. That is not true. To prove defamation, okay, a person, it needs to be shown that a person made a false statement purporting it to be fact. This is from the Google search. That false statement was published or communicated to a third person. That the fault of the person committing defamation amounted to at least negligence. That means that they carelessly, without concern, without due diligence, without any research, carelessly made a statement without any reason to believe that it's true, right? And then last, that the person who was defamed suffered damages or some harm. The person who is the subject of the statement. The person suing the other for defamation does not have to prove whatever the reputation was before at all. They don't have to prove that the defamatory statement somehow caused major damage to their reputation. That isn't how it works. But there she is, rattling off as if she knows what she's talking about. I'll give you an example. Rue Jr. publicly stated through libelous content a defamatory claim against me. I don't have to prove that it's false. It is false, and the truth matters. He would have to be able to prove that it was true, which he can't because it wasn't. It was a lie. I don't have to prove how much damage he caused. The defamatory statement alone is proof all by itself. Especially when you consider the nature of his lie and my career. He accused me. Well, he actually didn't accuse me. He stated it as a fact. He absolutely lied when he stated that I lost custody of my children. I have never lost custody of my children. I never lost custody of my children. Custody of my children was never in question, ever. So who the hell is he to post that I lost custody of my children? In a defamation claim, the onus would be on him to prove that I lost custody of my children, which he would not be able to do. And given that I am a domestic relations mediator, specially trained in child protection, a woman who speaks to large audiences on child abuse and domestic violence, then obviously the nature of his defamatory statement, well, it's obvious when it comes to damages, right? When they first started attacking us, they being the gangs and teams and dipshits who targeted about 10 of us right when this case first hit the headlines, before I had even heard of this slimy case, they accused us, all of us, of lying about our careers and our education. They accused us of being child abusers. They accused us of filing multiple bankruptcies. I have never lied about my career or education. I have never abused a child. I have never been a party at all to any bankruptcy. It's defamation, clearly. Yet here we are 3 years later with people who are parts of, I would say, members, or I don't know, maybe they just cling on. Wasn't there a Star Trek episode about Klingons? Whatever their roles are, running around the streets of YouTube pretending to know all about defamation. What a hoot. What a hoot. And collecting how much money? Ooh, oh, we have to make it safer for everybody else. Really? Maybe a good way, Alice. Maybe a good way, Banana. You know, maybe a good way to all of the scumbag attackers to make YouTube a better place, a safer place, would be for you to remove your defamatory content. Remove your slanderous videos. Remove your libelous comments. Remove your threats, for Pete's sake. And think about this. While one side of the family is getting attacked from day one, just look at what Cindy Watts has been suffering through with all the insults and ridicule and harassment. The other side of the family is holding fundraisers, claiming they're being harassed. Really? Because what I've watched over the last 3 years, I've watched them applauding scumbag attacker channel creators who have made threats, who have made videos doxing my family and me, my employer, professional organizations I belong to, who have told tens of thousands of people to contact my employer. Really? They're being harassed? When Rue Jr. is the pinned comment saying, yay, good job, get rid of the old hag. Look at the bigger picture. Step back and look at the bigger picture. Everybody's suing everybody. Or I should say, everybody's claiming they're suing everybody. They have their hands out. saying they need money for all this court action that's supposedly going to happen. Yet, how on earth could any of them be suing anybody when their hands are dirty? You cannot commit defamation and then pretend that you're going to be suing someone for harassing you when that person has never harassed you. But it's the same template. They're all evidently going by the same script. And it's disgusting. It is so disgusting. Sandy says, how are they getting away with not reporting the extra income? Who says they're getting away with not reporting the extra income? I know that was another tutorial that was put out there by a scumbag attacker going on and on about how you don't have to pay taxes on donations. She's claiming that the money you make off of YouTube, you don't have to pay taxes on it. That isn't true. Callie says, I think if you're on disability, you can't make extra money. I think you can make a certain amount. And let's be real. Are any of them talented enough? Really? You know what I'm saying? When they're doing those donation grabs, though, watch out. I bet they're trying to do some certain finagling. Makes me wonder about Christopher Watt's wife. I wonder if she had some kind of, fundraiser going, right? Oh, wait, she did, didn't she? I really wonder if she was one of so many that we've seen over the last 3 years. I really do. I'm not kidding you. I wonder, is this what she did all day on social media? Was she part of a team? Did some of these scumbag attackers know her? You know, how they like to say they were working together? There were a few of them there in 2018 who said they had been working together for 3 years already. Is this what Christopher Watt's wife was actually, quote unquote, working on? Was she on disability? Was she on social media harassing other people? Remember that guy who showed up at our live chat who said that he and his wife had to change their phone numbers? She wouldn't leave them alone. Think about it. Is that why, as soon as this case hit the headlines, the teams were in gear attacking innocent people? Maybe they already had experience, right? Maybe it was one of their own, so they went all out. Ray says, if it runs through PayPal, you can say it's gifts. Well, if the gifts total a certain number, Ray, it's income. Three of a Kind says that Set the Record Straight and Straight Up Blowing Minds channels are both still up. They just had those particular videos taken down. The ones exposing SW. I don't know if videos were taken down or if they're on private possibly. I don't know. Lisa says, keen to hear this. Sandy says, OMG, really, Ray? That's so messed up. Ray says the Facebook pages get scrubbed still. I know every time it seems that we talk about a certain post, then we have people show up in the chat going, oh, where can I find that? And then poof, it disappears. So we don't research for other people anymore, do we? Three of a Kind says, I wasn't fully on board at first with the moving day theory and don't know if I still 100% am. But the more I think about it, it does make more sense. I think there was definitely something up that day. I was the same way, three of a kind. At first, I was like, huh? But boy, the more I think about it, I do believe it was moving day, and I don't think she was supposed to be there. Cali Girl says, set the record straight, freaked me out about the rigor and the whole toilet thing. If you consider the position of her body, that we were told her butt was up in the air and her feet were turned, and then you watch that rigor video, it looks to me like an exact fit, an exact explanation for why a body would, be like that. New Orleans lady says AD scandal is only meant to scare people. I think it's called controlled opposition. I think that's what AD's role in all this bullshit theatrics over the last 3 years is. I think he's supposed to be attacked by them. It gives all of them content, Susan, what's wrong with sitting on the counter? Susan says there was definitely something wrong with SW. She acted like her house was hectic with kids, but I didn't see any pictures of kids or family. No mess from the kids. No something sitting on the counter. Oh, I don't know. Do you mean peanut butter and jelly? I don't know. Yeah, that house, in my opinion, showed a lack of humanness, a lack of living, a lack of identity. In my opinion, that house showed a lack of love. We nailed it right at the very start when we said, hey, why isn't there any refrigerator art? You have 2 kids at the daycare center all week long, and they're not bringing home any artwork? Because kids at the daycare center bring home artwork every day. And every day it should be rotated out with the other refrigerator art. Lisa did notice that the house looked emptier than usual. I think it was moving day, and I do not believe that she was supposed to be there. Hey, Star Mama. Three of a Kind says, Lisa, I think it always looked unhomely. I think he meant unhomey, and not like 2 children and a dog lived there. There was barely any evidence of either. Kids' paintings, toys, dog toys, etc. I think it looked empty, like in more ways than one. That's a good way to say it, Ray. It's like Google Law School. Set up your dry erase board, grab a few binders, and then make videos over and over again where you're claiming that you did more for the Watts family than anybody else. You know what? Nobody did anything for the Watts family. Nobody. On this channel, we did stand up for their right to not be harassed. We repeatedly stated that it wasn't right, the way they were being ridiculed and harassed. But that's about the extent of anything that anybody ever did for the Watts family, in my opinion. I think the Watts family needed to do something for themselves, for their son, for their granddaughters. And unfortunately, it appears they haven't yet been able to help their son at all. Lisa says the basement looked packed to go, but I guess we don't know what it looked like before. And Ray says typing with one hand attached to baby. Three of a Kind says this may be an unpopular opinion, but from what I've seen, I think TNT did do exactly what she set out to do for the Watts. It was down to them why it didn't go ahead. I've never heard her claim to be a lawyer. Three of a Kind, what did TNT ever do for the Watts? Name one thing. Ray has to go to look after the tiny tots. Love to Bob's. I'm scrolling. Lisa says the Watts have dignity and stay silent. Do you guys remember how when they started attacking Cindy Watts, everyone was saying they were attacking her because she said so many terrible things about her daughter-in-law? No, she didn't. But that was evidently the storyline behind the attacks, right? Lisa says there are about 5 creators currently running GoFundMes for legal costs. Star Mama says the script is getting longer each week. Keep moving forward is happy to be here. Oh, another one who likes to clean while she listens. Ash says that when you're on disability, you can work. Well, she was told that a person on disability can work up to 20 hours per week. Jeanette's here. Hey, Jeanette. Yes, Star Mama. I forgot about that. Christopher Watt's wife did have fundraisers, didn't she? And she even won the prize herself in one of them. Three of a Kind says it's absolutely despicable. Never in any other true crime case has this type of behavior been seen. Never in any other true crime case has the victim's family acted and threatened people like this. I remember when the avocado posted a threatening video against me. I had never even heard of her. I had never spoken with her. She had a very strange delivery, like she wasn't all quite there. You know what I'm saying? And who was in her comment threads? Christopher Watt's in-laws cheering her on. And she claimed that she actually worked for them while they were cheering her on. Hey, Wench. Wench Ain't I So Funny says that Christopher Watt's wife was quite good at rounding up her attack dogs about Netgate, so it wouldn't surprise me if she was a paid internet troll. Wow, maybe we're landing on yet another truth of this case. Maybe that's what she did all day and all night. Maybe she sat on social media attacking innocent people. Lisa says, wait, is that why Christopher Watts said she wasn't supposed to be there? Keep moving forward says lack of humanness and lack of love. What a good way to put that. How sad for Bella and Cece, though. Vanessa says that the house looks bad now for as expensive as it was. It wasn't expensive, Vanessa. It was not expensive. The prices of the homes in that area were much higher. They didn't live in the Taj Mahal that the storyline wants you to think they did. That house was not the end all be all. Just look at the basement. Exactly, Star Mama. No pictures the girls made at school. School? I'll say it Miss Mensa's way. No pictures the girls made at the daycare center. No paintings from the daycare center. No fruit on the counter, not even a banana. Yes, Jeanette. Remember that? She was having a fundraiser for lupus and she extended the fundraiser, I think, by a couple of weeks. And she said that if you're going to be donating cash, that you can give it to her. You can drop it off at her place and she'd send it in for you, doing you a favor and all, right? Yes, Sandy, the house did look like it was ready for the realtor to put the photos online. Jel Penny sent Natasha $100. Jel Penny, tell us why. Why did you send Natasha $100? What was it that compelled you to send her $100? I'm just curious. Feel free to ignore my question if it makes you feel uncomfortable to answer. Yes, Vanessa, the playroom, quote unquote, looked unplayed in. Star Mama says also for a new baby coming, saying it was a boy. Nothing sitting out that was pointing to a new arrival. I started as soon as I found out. Getting things together. No clutter, right? Contrary Marge says that the house looked lifeless and unlived in. Laura says house was cold. A house, not a home, for sure. Hey, Contrary Marge. Haven't seen you in a while, I don't think. Marge says that Christopher Watt's wife was nasty to those people. Keep moving forward says, may I ask, what does Bob's mean? Is that a fun way to address this true crime community here? Well, keep moving forward, we don't tell. You have to just kind of hang out for a while and you'll figure it out. Jel Penny says, casino, here I come. Lara says, legal costs? OMG, that is wretched. Star Mama says, as soon as I scroll down, I'll be able to read it. Star Mama says, why were the girls not allowed a toy like a doll, stuffed animal, or whatever to sleep with? Very strange. Three of a Kind says, TNT got them a lawyer. It was Christopher Watts that for some strange reason didn't want to move forward with it. Three of a Kind, they had a lawyer offer to work for them pro bono. So TNT didn't do anything that hadn't already been done for them. In fact, the lawyer that she claimed she found for them, the retainer was a pretty penny. Wasn't it something like, I don't know, I can't remember, but it was a pretty penny. And then she was saying that she was going to be able to help them pay the legal fees through her quote unquote nonprofit, right? The .com nonprofit. So for that to be the claim to she did more for them, blah, blah, blah. Wrong answer, Skippy. They already had a lawyer offering to help pro bono. Her claim is that she found a lawyer that would have cost a lot of money. And then she's now claiming that evidently because of all the defamation against her, however she put it in that one thing that she was reading, like it interrupted her flow, I guess. She, in my opinion, did nothing except distract them from actually helping their son.
Vanessa says, I'm sorry, but if my daughter-in-law treated me the way Cindy was treated, I would never take a vacation to fly out and babysit for my son. Sorry, but I won't take that abuse. Well, I think that Cindy's grandchildren, Bella and Cece, were what mattered to her. So I think she was willing to do whatever she could to keep the line of communication open. Plus, remember, for 5 years, over 5 years, they actually got along just fine. So it sounds to me like Christopher Watt's wife was very abusive to his family, especially his mother and his sister, right before the wedding. But then for the next 5 years, it sounds like she toed the line a little bit at least. And then she went ballistic again with Nutgate. Contrary Marge says built cheaply. I definitely think it was like a starter home quality. I definitely do. Jill Penny says too expensive for my po ass. Well, if you were living in that area, that would probably be the best you could do as far as starting out. You know, they may have been able to have bought a home that wasn't brand new for a little bit less, but I doubt it. Star Mama says a real mom would have never treated her girls the way that Christopher Watt's wife did. Three of a Kind says that house was the ugliest, most unappealing house. I think it just had a toxic feel about it in any of those videos. Marge says no homey feel. Star Mama says it's strange that some of the neighbors never knew they had kids. That's very strange. And that one of the neighbors said he had never seen her before when he saw a photo when the police officers were taking the posters around. Lara says, wow, thank you, Miss Mensa, for saying my name correctly. Nobody does. Michelle says, no kids' pictures on the walls. Exactly. Yeah, I think it was moving day, you guys. I do. I think it was moving day. And I think she was very sick. I don't think it was a typical family living in that house. I think it was a very sick woman. I think Christopher Watts and his children were about to begin being able to really live. And I think she decided she wasn't going to allow that to happen. Jeanette says, did the house cost $390,000? Not sure. I can't remember if it was $300 or $400. I think it might have been $300 when they bought it. I don't know. Three of a Kind says, Jill Penny, please do explain. I've been dying to understand the mentality of the people who send YouTubers like NC money. Lara says, those kinds of homes are slapped up cheap and cost way too much. Cookie cutter places. Keep up with the Jones crapola. Well, or pack them in like sardines crapola. Did you see the size of the yard? Ugh. And take a look at how long they lived there, yet the neighborhood wasn't finished yet. That's kind of interesting. Jill Penny says, have a good night, y'all. Good night, Jill Penny. Star Mama says, don't you wish dogs could talk? Dieter would tell plenty. Oh, poor Dieter. I bet he would definitely have a story to tell. Hey, Mrs. Fluffer. Three of a Kind says, a lawyer offering to help pro bono may not have been the best fit for them, and that's why they took T&T up on her offer. Yeah, I don't think so, Three of a Kind. I don't think so. I think it's a little dirtier than that. Because it seems pretty weird to me that within 24 hours of the lawyer offering to help pro bono, then according to KK, that's when Jamie jumped fast to tell KK to get the channel going. And that's when the circus began. I don't think they decided to take TNT up on her offer. I think TNT was right on the heels of the KK, who obviously failed to deliver what she was promising. Remember when KK first jumped up on, well, she already had the channel, but when they activated it and she jumped on board very quickly within the 24 hours of the actual lawyer offering to help, that she said within 2 months she would be filing a 35C on behalf of Christopher Watts, which is ridiculous because she's not a lawyer. She said her credentials really didn't matter because she knew people who did have credentials. No, her credentials do matter if she's going to be practicing law. And if she is taking legal action on behalf of a convicted murderer, then yeah, she needs to have some credentials of her own. Step back and look at the timing of everything. And then really ask yourself what was accomplished. Nothing. Good point, December. The houses were crammed so close together. But we're supposed to believe that Christopher Watts just brazenly walked into the driveway and loaded up his wife's body into the truck with the floodlights on. Okay, with motion detector, motion activated security lights. Yeah, okay, sure. Sure he did. Three of a Kind says the pro bono lawyer may have been inexperienced. That isn't how real life works, honey. Or had ulterior motives. What? To gain exposure and further his career like Jose Baez? Are you kidding me? Jose Baez was not looking to gain exposure and further his career. He was court appointed. And their failure to accept the offer happened within hours. So they didn't even have time to learn what the guy's experience even was. As soon as that offer came through, poof. According to KK, Jamie was telling her to hurry up and get that YouTube channel going. And KK was going to handle the 35C. They had no time to investigate whether or not the lawyer who was offering to help pro bono would have been a good fit. And remember, their wine fest for a couple of years was that they couldn't afford a lawyer. Their wine fest for a long time was that they needed a lawyer to help them, but they couldn't afford a lawyer. Really? December says when the neighbors were literally feet away from the property line. I think those homes are built on what they call zero. How does that go? Zero property line, zero something. I know I think it's called the zero lot line. And it's typically not what people with a couple of young kids or who want to buy a house and build a, family home. It's typically not what they opt for. Salon Savvy says, yes, very cold, no warmth, no love. Mrs. Fluffer says that a lot of people are saying how Christopher Watt's wife was crazy on her old Facebook videos now. This last year, people are seeing the truth. I think also, Mrs. Fluffer, there have been a lot of people who have been seeing the truth, but they've stayed in the private discussion groups. And I think they're less concerned about staying in the private discussion groups now because they see that we can discuss this true crime case, even though, you know, a pack of rabbits are trying to convince us otherwise. Exactly, Lara. Moms who work from home do it so that they can be home with their kids. Well, she was a stay-at-home mom, remember? That was part of the narrative. She was a stay-at-home mom. They just failed to mention the fact that the kids weren't there. Marge says the neighbors never saw the kids outside, and that's evidenced, I think, by what Cindy Watts told us. How Bella was afraid of the dirt. Star Mama says most mothers who work from home do so to save costs of daycare, but not Christopher Watt's wife. That daycare charge would have made a house payment each month. I think they probably got it for either free or it was at least subsidized. Because I think she was court ordered to have the kids there. December says, I think Christopher Watt's waffling had something to do with no lawyer. I don't know. Nah, I don't think so. I don't know how she would have, Mrs. Fluffer. Mrs. Fluffer says, what if SR paid the daycare fee? How would she have? She was a hairdresser? In the discovery, the payments made out for income lost wages was something like 2,020 something, I don't know, a month. I don't know how she would have ever had any money to pay for the daycare fee. December says, I think that Christopher Watts is still shameful for throwing his family under the bus to protect his wife. I think he's shameful for throwing his children under the bus. I think his children should matter more to him than trying to protect his wife's image. For Pete's sake, is he that doofus that he thinks people don't see the obvious? Marge said that she just watched the video, oh, you want a laptop? When poor little Bella was hungry. And Marge says that Christopher Watt's wife enjoyed making the kids cry. There was definitely a hint of a sadistic streak in her that I picked up on. In my opinion, in those videos, I think she is one sadistic person, especially toward Bella. December says, greedy property developers cramming as many homes as possible. I don't think it's greedy developers. I think it's a consumer that says, oh, I've got to pretend like I'm rich. And this is the only way I can do it. Lara's asking the question, why did a grown woman need to have her dad fly to her so she can just fly back? Well, according to the people who insist that there was an open CPS case, she wasn't allowed to travel with the kids. Keep moving forward says, I'm a real stay-at-home mama. Real chronically ill with actual diagnosed endometriosis through I don't know how to say that word. Lap surgery. How do you say that word? I don't know that word. I am not a medical person at all. Star Mama says, Lara, I think she was not allowed to be alone with the girls. And she couldn't even handle her own children. Why? She didn't let them be kids except to scare them. The videos tell everything about Christopher Watt's wife. Mrs. Fluffer, who paid for NA to watch SW, if that was the case? Remember, we thought SR did? Well, if there was some sort of a guardianship thing going on, I think there would have been some sort of funds, and somebody would have been able to direct those funds. But I don't believe that any of those monies would have ever come out of the pockets of any of Christopher Watt's in-laws. In fact, I think that it might even have been that they were listed as guardians and even collecting. Three of a Kind says when you rewatch those videos that the abuse was clear and obvious. Keep Moving Forward says that she was effing duped by this bizarro case. And you know what? I think a lot of people would still be effing duped by this bizarro case if those of us here having this discussion hadn't stood firm for our right to discuss this true crime case, just like we discuss every other true crime case, with or without any of the scumbag attackers' permission. I think there was a huge effort to silence any opinion except for the, ooh, she was a retired nurse. She was so successful. Oh, yeah. She was 35th from the top. Oh, yeah, she earned her car. Woohoo. Bullshit. Bullshit. Marge says that Bella looked like Christopher Watts. That's why she resented her. And Cece, in Marge's opinion, was the other guy's kid and getting away with more. Keep Moving Forward says it's refreshing to speak with mature adults who want to have civil conversations and be respectful of one another. I don't know how mature we are really. I mean, we're old, a lot of us, but a lot of us in here are young too. But it is true that on this channel, all opinions are welcome. We just ask that you talk about the case and not about, you know, we don't allow any of the bullshit virtue signaling here at all. If someone comes along and they're like, oh, shame on you, karma's going to get you, blah, 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 then, you know, I did figure out how to use the block button. Mrs. Fluffer says CW seems closer to Cece, always holding her. That's an interesting observation, Mrs. Fluffer. Think about it. If you've got a wacko wife, I'm just throwing this out there. If you've got a wacko wife that is sadistic toward your oldest, I wonder how much affection he was really allowed to show her without being scrutinized, right? By Miss Jealous. You know what I'm saying? Going kind of deep here on this thought, but in a dysfunctional, toxic, abusive home, it may have been safer for Bella for him to not show Bella any extra attention, or maybe even much attention at all. Yes, the baking of cookies. Oh my goodness. December says that it's very odd that the same family who hopped on a plane for SW every other second didn't fly out there when SW went missing. Interesting. But I don't really think they hopped on a plane all that often, did they? Because what we know from the whole discovery is that They moved out abruptly. We learned from Cindy Watts how abrupt the exit was. In, I think it was February of 2017. And then after that, with all those videos, I only saw really one set of pictures and videos that would have made it look like they had visited. I think the dad visited a couple of times that we know of. One time, didn't he babysit? I don't know. I can't remember. But then we learned too that the brother hadn't been out there evidently since Bella was just 10 months old. That he hadn't seen the girls. Just like Christopher Webster hadn't seen the girls. But remember when the case first hit, the headlines and the attack started right away against Christopher Watts' mom and his sister. OMG. They went on and on and on about how his sister hadn't even met Cece. Hadn't even met Cece. Oh, that's how much she cared about those kids. You know, we heard it all, didn't we? And then it came out that Christopher Watts' brother-in-law hadn't even met Cece either. There you go, Ash. I think you're right. If Christopher Watts' wife was on disability, then she could have put NA as her caregiver, and the Social Security Administration would have paid NA for her time that she was with Christopher Watts' wife. Keep Moving Forward says that silencing of any alternative view is suspect and shady. It's shady as hell, Keep Moving Forward. Shady as hell, and it was obvious day one with those organized attacks against innocent people. Star Mama says, oh, I say it, believe me, and I got attacked. Why? People don't like the truth. That Christmas video was horrible. Who scares their kids like that? I think the answer is a mentally deranged mother. And also keep in mind, Star Mama, you didn't get attacked just because of your opinion. You got attacked because you and I are in the same age group. You got attacked because the scumbag attackers figured we'd be easy targets. You got attacked because you're intelligent. I'm telling you, the correlation between those they chose to attack and our success in life, well, over and over again, they chose to attack people who actually have good reputations. They chose to attack people who are actually intelligent. They chose to attack people who were older. You know, talking among themselves, they said, oh, this will be an easy one, right? They think that we are total doofuses when it comes to computers and being online, which I'll admit, I've learned a lot over the last 3 years. But what they don't get, reputations are not built by a bunch of liars hopping on a YouTube channel saying, oh, I'm a psychologist. Oh, I'm a lawyer. Oh, I'm smart. Oh, you know, they think, what was the one? The avocado. She posted that she was a licensed and certified, what was she? A licensed and certified victim advocate, I think is what she posted. There's no such thing as a license for being a victim advocate. It's bullshit. They hop up there and pretend like they have these reputations or accomplishments or careers or whatever. That isn't how reputations are made. And they think that they can post a bunch of smack all over the internet and that that's somehow going to destroy your life. Destroy is their word, by the way. They don't get it. They don't get how insignificant they are. They don't even know how to attack us because they don't even know what a career is or even what a good reputation is. Oh, see, keep moving forward is young. Lara's young. So we have a good mix. We have a lot of young ones and we have a lot of more seasoned types. Mrs. Fluffer says we don't even know where they died if they really did. I think that the girls died in their beds. I think they were smothered. Three of a Kind says without this channel, the official narrative still wouldn't have been questioned. Marge says the Thrive Mongers were more worried about selling Power Mix and meth patches. I've always liked how you coin certain phrases, Marge, than they were for those kids. We're the only channel in this entire 3 years, we're the only channel who focuses on what happened to Bella and Cece. The only one. Exactly. NA gave SW money, a little bit of cash. She was picking up the mail. Exactly. Marge, I agree with you. That hair clip video was such an atrocity. And did you see the part where she's like, yeah, Bella quit sucking her thumb, and Bella sat there looking at her like I did? Midnight says that somebody said, why would you say that when she brought up one of the in-laws' criminal records? And she said, do your own research. It's out there. I don't even think that that is an issue per se. I think what makes it interesting is when the 10 of us who were initially targeted were accused of being child abusers. And then you take a look at the bigger picture and you go, when you have a bunch of scumbag attackers lining up to say that they think that Christopher Watts' wife was such a great mom, kind of makes you wonder how many of them, don't feed their kids. Just for one example. M's here. M says, good evening, everybody. Lara says she's been quiet about her opinion about Christopher Watts' wife's mothering because of the flying monkeys. One thing you want to know, Lara, is that there are far fewer of them than they try to make it appear. Far fewer. They use a whole bunch of fake profiles. December's talking about the coffin birth. What a guy. Oh, in my opinion, that's nothing but a bunch of crap. Mrs. Fluffer says, especially with a baby that small. What was it, 4.2 ounces supposedly? And then she said, we don't think she was even pregnant. Oh, Ash is just a kid. Ash is 33. So maybe Star Mama, maybe you and I are kind of the minority here. Well, the difference, okay, you're bringing up Lacey Peterson about the coffin birth thing. The difference is Connor was able to be born. The whole idea of a coffin birth, there's a whole, I don't know what the words are, but that's all about like building up the pressure, the gases, whatever. 4.2 ounces. Yeah, okay. Baloney. Connor was practically full term. The pregnancy was viable to begin with, and Connor could have been born, right? It's a whole different scenario. But boy, right from the start, how many times have we heard how, oh, this case is just like the case of Scott Peterson? No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Ooh, M's another young one. Yeah, Star Mama, I think you and I are like the minority here. New Orleans lady said that NA went from being shy on camera to thriving after SW died. Well, I wonder about that vacation in the summer because NA got married that summer, right? I think that's the reason why Christopher Watt's wife had to go to North Carolina. I personally think that NA was a caregiver, and I think that she wanted time off work to get married. Star Mama says that she thinks Avocado is realizing she got used by the R's. And when people, oops, I have to scroll, hold on. I have to scroll further than I thought. And when people tried to tell her she was wrong about trusting them, now Junior is calling previous supporters all kinds of names. Wow. I've only heard about the one where he called one of them an attention whore, I think is what he called her. Lara says, young? Oh, Miss Mensa. Now I have to give you a virtual kiss. Haha. Just turned 49. Was feeling kind of low, but you have cheered this gal up. 49, you're a kid. Mrs. Fluffer, her kids sucked their thumbs because she wouldn't give them pacifiers. Or maybe her kids sucked their thumbs because they were scared. Were they still sucking their thumbs at ages almost 5 and 3? If Bella was still sucking her thumb, I think she was, wasn't she? I think we have a picture of that. Hadn't thought about that before. But almost 5 sucking her thumb, eh. Afraid of the dirt, afraid of the rain, eh. Limited vocabulary, eh. Three of a Kind says you are spot on, December, and it isn't morbid. It's simply calling into question something that makes 0 sense. Marge says, me too. I'll stick to my thoughts that she came home lit up drunk after being delayed at the airport, rage cocktailing, went to buy drinks. The credit card was NSF. She found out about Christopher Watt's $60 tab, comes home. Or maybe she was supposed to stay somewhere else and she decided to come on home and make damn sure that moving day didn't happen, if it was moving day, which I think it was. December says a few coffin births have been documented. Yeah, like 3 in 300 years? I don't know. I'm exaggerating, but I don't think, I don't. In my opinion, she did not have a coffin birth. I mean, what is it this case is supposed to be doing? Like redefining everything? Like warping reality? Are we supposed to enter into some alternate universe or something? Remember when we learned the definition of harassment? The new definition of harassment, according to the slimy case of Christopher Watts? Well, the new definition of harassment is if you have a bunch of people who are on social media who are, copying links to videos that they think you might not like and they send you the link. Oh, that's harassment. Really? Oh, and we heard a new definition for conspiracy theories too, right? If you have an opinion about this case that is not the same as all the lies we've been told, then you're a conspiracy theorist. Did you know that? Yeah. That's what we learned from the slimy case of Christopher Watts. December says, I really hate to be morbid. I'm actually 12 weeks pregnant myself. December says every other so-called case, the women were decomposing for way longer. And I think they actually had fetuses that were way bigger too. Marge says, looking to confront him, he tells her he is leaving her. She flips out, kills the kids, he kills her. Or maybe he didn't kill her. Exactly, December. Connor was a full-term baby. Maybe not full-term, but he was within weeks of being born. He definitely would have been able to have been delivered. New Orleans says, I'm 51 and young at heart. Well, at 51, you're young at body also. Okay, how do you say it? Laparoscopy? I don't know how to say it, Jeanette. Jeanette just looked it up, whatever that word is. A surgical procedure whereby a fiber optic instrument is inserted into the abdomen in order to examine the internal organs. Sorry, I just can't bear not to know. December says that her autopsy proves putrefaction process hadn't occurred. And yet we're told that the elevated VAC level was due to decomposition. Oh, hokey feet. And remember, we're never going to know the truth because they don't tell people like us, which, okay, that kind of opens the door wide open to admit that we've been getting lied to. So guess what? If we're getting lied to, then we're going to go ahead and say, oh, are they lying about that? Are they lying about that? Are they lying about that? We've discovered way too many lies to believe any of the bullshit. Yeah, truthers. Good point, Star Mama. Truthers? More like falsers. Lara says, oh, I never thought of the full term thing. And a lot of people, because you hear it over and over and over again, how, oh, it's just like the case of Scott Peterson. A lot of people are like, oh, no. Lacey Peterson treated her husband well, with respect. She was a very kind and loving person. She actually liked children, and she was very good with children. Did you know she was a teacher? She actually went to college. Yeah, it's true. She was actually a successful businesswoman, too. You know that Scott and Lacey owned a restaurant, right, before they bought their house? Yeah, they actually made some money on it, and they used that money to buy their house because they wanted to start a family. Lacey was successful, and guess what? Lacey was only, I think, 27. Christopher Watt's wife, I think she was 40, but we're told she was 34. I saw a photo of myself this last week at age 30. What was I? Have to think. 35. In fact, it's right on Google Images. I think I'm going to, okay, let me see if I can find it. I'm not sure how I can do this. Okay, I found it. And I'm thinking I'm saving it. Here it is. Save. And save. Okay, I'm going to try to put it on the screen here. Oh, crap. Where are you guys now? There you are. Okay. I'm going to try to pull the photo up. It's anyone's guess if I'm going to be able to do this. Let's see. Where is it? Oops, that didn't sound good. Yeah, let's see here. That's not it. Is it here? That's not it. Where is it? Maybe I didn't save it yet. Okay, let's cancel this. Let me see if it's in the little thingy. Okay, it is there. Oh, it's under downloads. Okay, hold on here. I think I'm going to be able to figure this out. Just bear with me 1 second. Nope, it's not there. Oh, come on. I'm just looking at all of them now. Nope, it's not there. Okay, this is weird because I know it's there. So let me try this one more time. Save. And then I want to put it. Oh, I see. Okay. Maybe this will work. Maybe not, but let's see. Oops, that's not it. Still trying to do this. I just have a little point I want to make. Let's hope I remember the point I want to make by the time I figure this out. Okay, it's not there. Not there. Not there. Not there. Maybe it's in here. Nope. Maybe it's in here. Oops. Nope. Nope. I don't know if you guys heard me talking just now or not. If not, I'm still checking for that picture. I don't like techno crap. Can you tell? Oh, I know what the problem is. I can't just share a picture. It has to be a video. Ah, ho, ho, ho. Now I understand. So, let's see, cancel this. And that makes total sense. Okay, so I'm going to click on the picture. Ah, why is it making this noise? Okay, click out of there. Click on this picture. Okay, click out of there. I'm going to right click on it and see what it does. Copy. Now I'm going to try to put it there. Boy, does it make you wonder how I get anything done? Okay, click, click. Click, click, click. Right click, paste. It didn't bring the picture. So I'll go back to here. I'll right click, copy image. Now where are you guys? There you are. Back here. Right click, paste. Ta-da! Right click, save as. Pick, save. Okay. Now I'm going to go to the thingamajigger, click on pick. Okay, good. Now we're getting somewhere. So I will create a video with music, because the thingy will only let me share on StreamYard if it's a video. So I'm going to do background music. I like Pachelbel. We'll go Canon by Pachelbel. We'll go and duration and finish audio, finish video. I'll put my pick. Okay, this video should be done in just a couple seconds, and then I can upload it to StreamYard. And then I'll make my point that I wanted to make that should have only taken a second. But I think you'll see what I'm saying. Okay, here we go. Now, back to StreamYard. Now I want to share video file. Where is it? Ugh. It's got to be here. There it is. Okay, now we're going to share this video. Are you ready? Everybody take a look up at the screen. You see that picture? Okay. Oops, it's buffering. Crap. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. It was up there at least for a second before it started looking like it was buffering. You see it now? In this photo, I'm 35 years old. 35 years old. Now compare this photo to any of the photos that you've seen of Christopher West's wife, and she was supposedly 34. I'm sorry. I think she looked a lot older than 34. I just do. It's still buffering, so I'll remove it. You see what I'm saying? Take a look at your own photos. Take a look at yourself when you were 35 years old. You don't have wrinkles. You don't have crow's feet. You guys are funny. That was when I started in real estate. That was the year I got started in real estate. So I was a realtor at age 35, actually 36, I think. Yeah, I mean, think about it. We're told that she was 34 years old. Are you kidding me? She looked like 45 or something, and nothing against 45-year-old women, but she didn't look 34 years old. Samara makes a good point. They both looked older than what we were told. They both looked older. Yeah, there's just I don't believe she was 34. I don't believe it. I think we've been lied to about that too. Because remember, we'll never know the truth about this case, right? Well, we agree. We've been getting lied to. Lara looked awesome at 35. December says that she thinks NK also knew that SW was mentally unstable. So the erasure of her text messages to CW talking about SW mental illness and her behavior only helped the DA's case against CW. Interesting. Well, I'm here to tell you. I'm going to try to put it up there again. There it is. That's what 35, maybe 36, actually. It's 36. That's what 35 or 36 years old looks like. That's what it looks like. Christopher West did not look 34 years old at all. Not at all. Look at that. No way. Here, we'll listen to Pachelbel. There, it kicked me off again. My computer's been doing the buffering thing. I think it's because when I was on vacation, I left my cord and my charger behind. So I went and replaced it. But I keep getting this message saying to use the original charger. So I don't think this new one is as good as the original. Yes, keep moving forward. Exactly. Canon in D. A beautiful song for your wedding. Yes. Chicken Head says December. I remember thinking that early on that she was an addict. And that's part of the reason why she wasn't paying her bills and possibly a reason why there could have been a CPS case. Maybe that's part of the reason why she looked so old. But I still don't think she was 34. I think she was 40 or older. And you know all the crap that we've been told, all the insults we've heard, go get a life, karma's going to get you, all that shit. And yeah, losers, they're losers. They'll never amount to anything. They're just jealous of Christopher Watt's wife. That photo I just showed you, I was already more successful at that age than Christopher Watts and his wife put together. And I think I speak for a lot of us here in this chat. We accomplished more by age 35 than the two of them together would have ever been able to pull off. Marge thinks that she was an oxy head. December says her eyes are so pinned in many videos. I don't know the whole drug use thing, so I have no clue. But I know a lot of people over the last 3 years have claimed that they can see signs that she was a druggie for sure. December says definitely oxy. Louisa says based on her behavior, she could have lied about her age. Well, yeah, the fact that she lied about so many things, what's age, right? And remember, before she met Christopher Watt's parents, she had him convinced that he was supposed to tell his parents that she was 40. Remember that? Who does that? I guess maybe a liar who is lying about her age might do that. Samantha says, I think she was older and binge drinking and popping pills. Three of a Kind says, I think opiates too, December, which would also explain the oxy in the bin, which I never believed was CW. And if you look at some of the scumbag attackers too, they do look older than they are. Mary, you're a sweetheart. That's sweet of you to say. Samantha says she's on opiates and doesn't look old. She still gets asked for ID. That's just because they want to track all of your purchases, honey. It's still fun to get ID'd, but they just want to track your purchases. No, I think a lot of us in here look a heck of a lot younger, and definitely at age 35 looked a heck of a lot younger than Christopher Watt's wife. I think that, if they're going to lie about her going to college, if they're going to lie about her being a nurse, if they're going to lie about her earning the car, right? If they're going to lie about all the crap they've lied about, then why not lie about her age too? And remember, NA acted to the first responding officer as if she didn't even know how old she was. Well, I think she did know how old she was. I think what her confusion stemmed from was she wasn't sure what age she was supposed to say. Louisa, you're sweet. December says, sadly, I can spot it 1,000 yards away. Pillhead. MJ says, are you boasting, MM? Chicken Head says, well, addicts are good liars, and she was a good liar. I'm not sure that they're good liars, but I think they are repeat liars. You know, people say how she was so successful and those videos were so great. I wouldn't have bought anything from her. Star Mama says that look in her eyes, it is scary. Drugs for sure. Marge says she acts hyper and glazed over, plus people that are on drugs lie about everything. I think even to themselves. Mrs. Fluffer said that she hardly slept at night. She said it in a video. That's when she did online shopping. Oh, I bet that was gangbusters for the old family budget. December says, of course CW didn't give her the Oxy. That rumor is so stupid. I wonder if there was Oxy in the traveling makeup bag. M says that she spoke in word salad in a couple of videos. I thought she spoke in word salad a lot. Remember the one where she couldn't remember what the diagnosis was the night before in the emergency room? She couldn't remember one too where evidently the kids had to see the doctor for a recheck because they were sick the week before with the flu. Has your doctor ever had you bring your kids in a week after they had the flu? I don't think so. Have they had you bring them in when they had the flu? I don't think so. Yes, Samira, I thought her tastes were very old. Very old. Even her manicure was not what a 30-something would have had. Maybe there was somebody older also who was making those decisions, or maybe she was trying to please somebody who was older. I don't know. Or maybe she was patterning her behavior after somebody who was even older, right? And if you look at her, what I think was orthodontic work, do you guys remember how many, many years ago they used to extract 4 teeth before putting braces on kids and then they stopped that practice? She looks like she had those teeth extracted. That would have put her a lot older than 34. Yes, chicken head. That would make sense why she hadn't seen a doctor and why she didn't go in for emergency medical care when she claimed she was spotting and cramping. Three of a Kind says, Oxy found in the bin. Alcohol, or at least an elevated BAC in her postmortem toxicology report, being found in the slumped over toilet position. Three of a Kind says, I mean, what are the chances that was all a coincidence? Exactly. Samantha says, drug addicts tell nonstop lies. Chicken Head says she probably slept during the day. I think she's pretty much stayed in that room on the main floor. December says that the manic shopping is a symptom of opioid addiction. It's a symptom of a few other things too, honey. Hi, Sharon. Sharon says, hello, just joined in. Louisa says, I bet that's why SW had her dad fly with her to North Carolina. She put all of her drugs in her dad's luggage so she wouldn't get in trouble. There's a thought. I think he flew with her because I think that the people who are insisting there was an open CPS case are telling the truth. And they claim that part of the family plan was that she was not allowed to travel with her children. Oop, there goes my phone. Hold on just 1 second. I'll be right back. Hey guys, I'm sorry to do this to y'all, but we have been talking for quite a while and my favorite person just called. So I'm going to take off. We're at the 1 hour, 58 minute and 17-second mark. So we've had a couple of really interesting hours of discussion, and I really appreciate all of you guys showing up and taking part in the discussion. We'll do this again, I would say maybe tomorrow, but probably more like Tuesday, or we'll definitely do it before Thanksgiving. Probably Wednesday. So I don't know if you're going to be traveling or super busy or whatever, but if you can't catch the live chat, well, let's just go ahead and plan it. We'll do a live chat on Wednesday. If you can't catch it on that day, then definitely catch it after it's uploaded. And then we'll do another one next weekend for sure. So everybody be safe, be healthy, and know that you are loved. And take your vitamin D, get lots of good sleep, stay hydrated. And when your phone rings and it's your favorite person on the planet calling you, definitely hop off of social media and take the call. We'll talk again on Wednesday. Everyone have a productive beginning of the week, and we'll touch base in just a few days.